honestly, I didn't know this camera existed until a week before I bought it, but I'm glad I found out about it. This is a great camera. It's like a hidden gem of the Nikon lineup. It's no F3 or FM, but it has its own little charm to it. So if you're looking into getting into film photography, this is a great option to go, and it's something that doesn't really come up in conversations when it comes to beginner or entry-level DSLRs. So this is the Nikon FG. So right off the bat, it has that classic Nikon design. It's made out of mostly all metal, with the casing being all metal basically, and the shutter being metal. It's pretty intense compared to other DSLRs in this range, in this price range. You can see on this camera it has taken a beating. It has a couple of corners bumped up, and you can see where points of friction that have actually rubbed the paint off to reveal the really nice brass underneath, which is a look I really enjoy. It has a very classic look to it. So when you think of $100 auto exposure manual SLRs, you might think of the Canon A1 or the Miltech 700, and those are both plastic. So having this really good construction at this price point is a big selling point. This camera in particular has a smaller footprint. It's a smaller size compared to the typical SLR, which is totally okay because it makes up for it in this little hand grip. I have really big hands, and I haven't had any problems with it. I find it really comfortable and really intuitive. If you pair this camera up with one of Nikon's E-series lenses, you have a really tiny package that is good to go. It is kind of the size of a regular crop sensor DSLR. The nice thing about this camera, as I mentioned, it has a full automatic exposure mode, just like the Canon A1. Where it differs is that it has a aperture priority mode. This is more ideal for portraits, and it is a big help if you know what you're doing. Shutter speeds range from bulb all the way to 1/1000th of a second with a M90 setting. The M90 setting is in case if your camera runs out of batteries, the shutter will still fire at 1/90th of a second. This is a big advantage over other battery-dependent cameras because the camera is still operable without a battery. That being said, the batteries are very cheap, very inexpensive, very easy to find, unlike some of the other cameras which have batteries that are still made, but they're not as accessible as these batteries here. But you probably will not be thinking about batteries that often because the camera lasts a very long time. This camera is great, but it's not perfect. The viewfinder is very nice and clear, and the focusing is very clear and accurate. But the only issue with the viewfinder is that it's sometimes hard to tell in some situations what the light meter is reading. The light meter indicates which shutter speed the camera is choosing, and sometimes because it's not LED lit like on the Canon A1, you won't be able to see exactly what the camera is trying to tell you. This isn't a deal breaker, and you won't run into these instances very often, but it is just a little gripe I have with the camera. My other gripe with the camera is the film advance lever. So there's nothing that actually feels wrong with the mechanism. It feels very sturdy, minus the fact that because of the small size, they have to break down the film advance lever into two parts. So to advance the lever and take a picture, you have to pull this first part out and then advance the film. It's just another step that kind of gets in the way, and I'm not sure how sturdy this advance lever is because this kind of end bit here is made out of plastic. Again, these are really minor gripes compared to the great quality of the rest of the camera, and it really stands as a testament to Nikon's complete lineup. So if you're looking into getting into film photography and you want a SLR that's kind of has a lot of qualities that more expensive SLRs have, the Nikon FG is a great way to go. Not to mention that the Nikon lens mount, you can mount film lenses onto DSLRs, and if you choose to upgrade the body later on, you can use all the same lenses. So if you're looking for a camera, please consider the Nikon FG. It is a great hidden gem. They're very inexpensive, and they're a great option if you want something a bit more professional.